Kate, I was gonna say, if you don't mind turning on a light, you're like being flashbanged. I don't know. Okay,
You.
okay, never mind. Do what you want. Sit in the dark. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to fernsproutstudios. My name is Zach. Welcome back to the Video Game Book Club. I'm here with the team. Everybody say hi. Welcome back.
Hello.
Hi, welcome back.
Hello,
Wait,
welcome back.
welcome back. Don't quote me directly. Guys, I'm here with the crew, the usual crew. A few missing people. Brendan's not here. But Brody has decided to join us today. Welcome in, Brody. Everyone, welcome in, Brody.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last month we have decided as a team, per usual team vote, we picked Firewatch. If you're not familiar, developed by Campo, Santo, is a single-player, first-person mystery set in the Wyoming wilderness, where your only emotional lifeline is the person on the other end of a handheld radio. It's a first-person vibe game. That's the quick first-person. I honestly don't have a great explanation off the top of my head, but you just heard what I said.
Game.
It's a story game. That's what I was going to say.
Walking simulator.
Walk sim. Park
A simulator.
Park-
a real-life simulator.
Park Ranger sim. So, if you guys haven't seen our previous eps here on the fernsproutstudios Video Game Book Club podcast, be sure to check that out. We did Undertale and we did Inscription. Now we're doing Firewatch. I won't tell you what our next game is because we don't know. We're going to figure that out, so stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't already, but let's jump into it today. First impressions, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, spoilers. There are spoilers are going to be said for this game, so if you haven't played it, go play it right now. Link is in the description. We're going to shout out the game. It's awesome. I think it's awesome, but we'll hear from the rest of the team. Guys, we'll start with Cade. First impressions of Firewatch, and anything else you want to say.
Okay. I watched PewDiePie, or maybe it was Jacksepticeye, one of those guys back when the game launched. I watched them play it. And I've started this game since then a few times. So this was my first time fully playing it through for myself after quite a few years now. So, my thoughts, I loved it. I think I was telling Sean the other day, there's no reason this game isn't a 10 out of 10. It's a very, like, everything about it's very polished, it's a very good story. Like everything has so much character, from the animations to the UI to the characters to the world. Yeah, I really loved it. When I had first played the game, the ending kind of it is an intentionally like kind of unsatisfying ending. And when I was little, that meant I just didn't like the ending. And I enjoyed it a lot more and kind of feel like I got something out of it this time. So, yeah, that's my overall thoughts.
Jackson, what do you think?
Yeah, man, I totally remember watching this back when I was like, 15, 14, 13, probably more like 13. Just YouTubers playing it. I remember a specific YouTuber, Dre Guest, I watched. I actually have his videos up right now just to remember the game. But yeah, no, it was a great game when I was watching it, and when I just played it through recently, it was just as good. I actually forgot a lot more than I thought I did. And we'll get into that, obviously, what I forgot later. But yeah, no, it's a great game. It's great that it's just a 3 to 4 hour experience. Very easy to just sit down and play in one night. I was actually, when I was just at work, I was recommending a guy that came in that he just play it because he said, "Oh yeah, I bought it, and I've never played it. It's just on my list of games." I'm like, "Bro, you could play that shit in 3 hours. You could play it from 6 to 9 and be done." Yeah. And I recommended him to play it. It's just a great, super linear experience. Just a great story. Definitely tugs at the heartstrings. It's tough at times, but it was a great experience. It was very immersing, and it's a beautiful game too, graphically wise, and the sunsets in the game, and that's probably one of my favorite parts. But yeah.
Nolan, what did you think?
Well, like everyone else, I have previously heard of this game before. I actually remember I went to PAX in 2017 and I saw Campo Santo. I think that's their name. They had a booth there with Firewatch. You could sit down on the couch and play it. They had like the I don't know if you guys saw in the game. They're like, I don't remember what his name was, but it's in the game they have like the cardboard cutout of like, it's like their version of Smokey the Bear. It's like the guy, they had that at the convention. And I think I remember watching Markiplier play it. And so I played the game originally, I think back in, I want to say 2018 or something. I think I was 16 or 17. And I remembered enjoying the game a lot, felt very polished. I think at the time it felt like, I think that was the first time I played a game with that kind of art style, or at least art direction. And so it was very unique. To me, I really enjoyed it. I remember being pretty disappointed as well with the ending initially, or at least it felt very just unsatisfying. Not disappointing, but yeah, just pretty unsatisfying. But I think coming back to it, I haven't touched in a while. I did remember some story beats, but I didn't remember exactly how everything played out. And I think as an adult now, I enjoyed it a lot more. It was a much more enjoyable experience. And so, yeah, I'm glad I got to play the game again and glad we got some friends here to play it for the first time.
Sean, thoughts?
Yeah, I went into this expecting a lot of random things. I think the first 20 minutes of the game, I was fully expecting this to be cults, aliens, weird malpractice, and I don't know, like, it gave off this eerie vibe at the beginning for me, like, okay, what is this? What's going on? And that's because I went into this game completely blind. I hadn't heard of it when it came out. I didn't know about it when someone recommended it until, I looked it up here. But by the time I finished, it just felt like a really beautifully written, twisted rom-com where you feel this like great love towards your main character and this like sadness for them, and then the twisted love experience of his wife and Delilah and all the above. So I don't know. I came out of this feeling so like distraught at the end. Like as soon as the title scroll hit, I just felt like achy in my body. I was like, damn, that hurt. That sucked. Like the ending, like what's next? What happened now? But I sat there and I didn't move for like an hour. I kind of just stared at my screen and I then wrote down my notes. And I think for me, this is like the first 10 out of 10 game I've played in a while where I finished it and felt so complete and was happy with everything. The vibes of the game, as Jackson said, with the sunsets and the forest and, just the simple mechanics of walking around and doing little tasks. I also forgot how fun linear games can be. I feel like it's the first like real simple linear game I've played in a while where it's not super convoluted with its story. There's just a path you are following and you find out the story as you go. Like it felt like a little book or a little movie, but I really, really cherish this game and definitely goes in my top games of all time list for me personally.
Now, Brody, the new member, welcome to the pod. Brody, thoughts on the game?
Dude, I never played it, and I only saw like a couple clips on Instagram about it, and the couple clips gave me a completely different impression than what the game was entirely. Like, I have a very distinct memory of someone looking at like the other lookout and there being like a flash of light. And then there's like they kind of like implied like a supernatural element. So I went into it expecting that, and that never happened at all. And I feel like I might have just made it up or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm fusing two moments together because there is the moment with the guy with the flashlight.
Maybe it was editing,
but it could have just been my brain being dumb. So I went into it kind of expecting that, and then I didn't get that. And yeah, I overall I really enjoyed it. Like you guys all said, the ending is very I don't know the word for it. I don't know if I necessarily felt disappointed. I felt like I don't know. The whole thing felt very interesting, and we'll get into it later. But some of the stuff, some of the beats were I don't know. I was curious their intentions
Yeah.
behind it, because I feel like there's a lot left unsaid in this game.
Right.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah, go for it.
So I was just thinking about this. I don't know if this necessarily answers your question fully, Brody, but I think in a way, the game is kind of messaging to you that like this guy comes out here to do this over the summer, and he really shouldn't be. Like he really should be with his wife.
Yeah.
And the way the whole story goes and how everything falls apart kind of shows that. It's like, well, if you just would have done what you were supposed to do and go love your wife as she dies and as she, as everything comes to an end there, maybe none of this would have happened. Maybe not like that. Like it's not saying that the story of Firewatch shouldn't have happened, but it's kind of like you went out here, you figured all this stuff out, and it's like that's fine, that was your choice. But like in a way, it's like this is kind of what happens because you didn't decide to do what you should have done, which is go see your wife. And at the end of the story, it's resaid like, hey, you should go see her. That's what you should do, even though you're scared to, you don't want to. That's what the right thing to do is, and that's what you need to do. And the way it ends on a bittersweet note right at that makes me think like that's kind of in a way a message of the game, which is like, all this bad stuff happening is like not just for no reason. Like it's like you should have been there for your wife. But then again, it's a beautiful story, Firewatch, and it's tragic, and it's like that's great that story was able to be told because this guy decided to go out for the summer and do a Firewatch lookout. But I was just kind of thinking about that, like that's kind of like in a way like a supernatural way of explaining it, I guess, or like a this is the reason or moral of the story kind of thing. But yeah.
No, it's and I'm gonna jump in here with my first impressions, but to tag on to that thought that Jackson just said, it's the words I use, it's a very real tragic, like moment in time in this guy's and wife's life where, like a lot of stories that you, funny enough, we're starting to see more in both movies, games, comics about like just moments where like you're not going to have, there's not going to be this happy ending, there's not going to be this, and that's what this game was just, this is a decision he chose to do, and you're living through that decision. You're not seeing the life that he had with him and his wife, you're just seeing his current the current place he's at with the thoughts he's dealing with, and then he has to return back to that. But that's, we can dive more into that more later. But I was gonna say my first thoughts and impressions coming into it was I knew about it since like the PewDiePie Markiplier era of 2016 or whenever this game came out exactly, where I heard about it, I saw the game's material or promotional material, like it was very aesthetically pleasing with the sunsets and the colors, and I knew very little about it then, and I still knew very little about it up until this day, where I only ever heard that you're a Firewatch park ranger, Firewatch guy, and but besides all that, the only little thing that I, like Sean said going into it, and Brody as well, was is there some sort of paranormal activity?
No.
Is it a horror game? Like, I didn't fully know. I just got that vibe, and I even had that vibe throughout at least the first half, where I was still waiting for a guy to jump scare me out of a bush, which did kind of happen, and we can address that later on. Similar kind of event happened, but wasn't so much scary, just more traumatic almost. But a few things like that happened. But I mean, in short, I when it came to actually sitting down and playing it, I was told that it was only so many hours long, and I was actually surprised by that too, where I was like, this is a really short game. I actually finished it over 3 nights, but because I was just busy working on my other things. But it was so funny hearing, while Sean and I think we're playing around the same time, and you get certain achievements that say oh, you completed day 1, you completed day 2, day 3, and then it immediately jumps to day 40, and I'm like, wait, I was totally expecting this to be really linear, real time, and then it just jumps, like a book would, like a movie would, with a time jump, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't expect that going in, but you know, we can dive in all to the specific story elements as well, like we already have been. But in short, yeah, it was I just loved it. I love the story, and like Jackson was saying, with its real narrative, it's a really tragic story, and just the realism behind what you're doing and your actions and your choices. It definitely. I honestly don't know. A 10 out of 10 would be fair story wise, game wise. It's a 2016 game that I say 2016 game. I don't know exactly what year. I had this like general like, oh yeah, it's a 2016 game where it's very linear. It's not a sandbox. It's not a free. I mean, there's a little bit of a free roam, but like, you only do so much. It's only there to tell the story, and I'm okay with that. I was okay with that, but I was not expecting that element too, where I was like, I can only do so much. I can only click on so many things and look into so many areas, and like, I was expecting more based on games that were made, in the last, 5 years. But still, it was really nice. It was a really tragic, really good written story, very beautiful looking game.
To jump in towards some of our next topics, but also still in my first impressions, I forgot to mention, is something that stood out to me a lot was the feeling of isolation. I feel like this game does a really good job of making you feel that feeling that Henry's feeling, where he's kind of running away from his problems. He's hiding in this forest to get away from those stressful things in his personal life, and you're just alone in this forest, and your only company is this random woman that calls you on the walkie-talkie from time to time. But if you time things out, like, there's a lot of time where it's just silent, and you're just walking around, and you're clicking buttons, and you're picking up a bottle or drinking alcohol, or it's like
reading a map.
Reading a map. And I love how they did that. And they don't tell you that this guy's sad and lonely. You just kind of feel it with him, with the story, and I think that was done really, really well.
I mean, besides the intro, the intro dialogue trees that you go through, obviously you have an established idea of where he's currently at in life, and then you start to really explore that as it progresses throughout the game. But yeah, it's very much lonely, especially with the fact that you never see Delilah. You only ever hear her, and maybe depending on the person you are, how you interpret the game. Like, I was like, I want to see her. I want to see her the whole game. I've been wanting to find her, and I can't go over there yet. I need to do this, and then they
edge you right at the end.
They edge you right at the end. You never see her. Spoilers. You never see her. And that's okay. And that's how it was written, and that's how it was structured. And I like that. That it edges you. But yeah.
Oh, real quick, when you're escaping, what did everybody tell? And not that it mattered. The ending was always the same. I'm just kind of curious. When Delilah's like, they're here, they're telling me to get on the helicopter. Did you tell her to go without, go on, like leave, or did you tell her to wait?
I told her to wait.
I told her to wait as well. Yeah.
I told her to go.
Oh my god.
I did too.
You guys don't want her.
I was like, can't we just, like, they could just, I mean, obviously I knew the ending, but I was like,
they could just get dropped off the same spot.
Yeah, they could meet up at the, like, that was my thought process too, bro.
Just not
they won't.
Decade.
I guess so.
It seems, and maybe this was just my interpretation, that they were never going to be dropped off at the same spot, and so I think she may have. Maybe that's.
They never see each other.
They never see each other. But like, that was, I thought that during the gameplay, I was like, oh, I do not think that they are going to see each other, even landing somewhere. And so
this is my
chance to maybe, hopefully, my decision wording will change the outcome. But obviously it didn't. But yeah.
So like, I think Sean kind of alluded to something that I think what this game does so well, like, the game doesn't really like totally match your motivations to Henry. Like, you don't, like, you get this kind of emotional intro, and it's definitely a hook, but it doesn't like make you love Julia the way Henry does, right? You don't have that and like if you look at it objectively, of course everybody's gonna like Delilah, like
Right.
be way more attached to Delilah. We spend the entire game with her, but what it does do is it kind of like emotionally puts you in a very similar spot. I don't know if that's the
it makes you feel bad the same way he does.
yeah,
Because he's
and you
forgetting Delilah, or he's forgetting his wife, and he's forgetting Julia, and he's Delilah's like right in his forefront, and that's what he's thinking about. And she
and
has to keep reminding him, like, your wife.
Mm-hmm.
it also like with and I think this kind of gets into the theme that Jackson was talking about, which I think is the point of the game. Like it makes you feel you want to escape with Henry. You're right there with him being like, I have all these life problems, but I could be part of something that's bigger and something that's, and that's so alluring and so like, especially when you're like,
Right.
down like that and you don't want to think about your real problems. You want to make the world into this like,
Yeah.
there's so many ways it's like relevant to like society, but also just like interpersonally, like how how people take their own personal problems and they want to like worry about bigger things.
Yeah.
I think
So-
it might have been like an artistic choice maybe for them to kind of not really have Julia as like a played part of the game or just like what you read, because then that really helps you. Like Henry wants to get away, and so he gets away, and that's when you start playing, and you're getting away from the idea of Julia, and you're letting Delilah in and all this Firewatch stuff, and that really helps you to just like forget about the wife completely and just be like, this is what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
But what I think is interesting though, and I think that what I kind of watching the game for the first time I missed, I was completely invested, and and maybe playing it also helped, but being completely invested in this, conspiracy and stuff, I wasn't like, and maybe I didn't fully pay attention to the details. I don't know. When it drops you with its real message that like you have to focus, you have to lock in is the wrong word, but like,
you have to lock in.
but like you gotta like focus on what really matters. I think that's why it fell flat for me the first time. I was like, and I was not paying attention to like the actual details in the story where they actually do mention Julie a lot. Like they talk about him and his problems. It's always clearly something that's kind of nagging in the back of your mind. That's kind of what makes it feel very real to me. Like you're doing all these things, but there's always this kind of nagging, like, oh, Julia, real life,
What I was going to say to that,
I think I played the game very differently than you guys.
what I was going to say, this is something I had like a oh my god moment earlier. Basically, it seems like what the game wanted to say is that what was the name? Brian was the name of the guy with the kid, right?
Ned. Brian's the kid.
Brian's the kid. Who's his dad's name again?
Ned.
So it seemed like the only person you ever saw in the game was Ned. It's the only person
Right.
you ever saw in the game. And it seems like the game was trying to say, like, even though, Henry, you're trying to escape from your problem is right here in this story. Ned abandoned his kid to die. And guess what Henry's doing? Henry's abandoning his wife to die.
It's a reflection.
And so the entire story is trying to tell Henry, like, dude, you're just watching someone else do what you're about to do, so don't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Go see her and go be with her before she dies. And when I noticed that, I was just like, oh my god, that's crazy. Because Ned isn't even a bad guy. He's just kind of a little bit of a dumb father. He's just not making the best decisions at all times, and he loves his kid, but he keeps making bad decisions.
And in the end, he doesn't want to deal with,
And then he doesn't want to deal with it, so he runs away. And it's literally just Henry in a reflection, except for he gets to see what happens if he really does leave Julia to die. He's just like Ned. He's no better than Ned, which is this horrible person that left his kid to die.
Well, he didn't leave his kid to die, but he that was a whole accident. Like it wasn't.
Yeah, sorry, not yeah. It was an
But he
accident.
didn't
Still.
go like confront, like, you know, he didn't like talk to police about it. He didn't
Yeah.
like
Right.
resolve
He
his.
didn't do
Yeah.
what he
Tried to
should have
blame it
done
on
'cause he
someone
was too
else.
scared.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
too
Right?
scared. Yeah.
Yeah, and so the whole story, Henry and Delilah are making these decisions, like not talking to police about the girls and all this stuff. Like, even though I said she should talk to the police,
That's what I said as well.
and it's just so indicative of like you're seeing this heart-wrenching, saddened thing of this kid dying, and it's like you're doing the same thing to your wife.
Right.
You gotta go be with her
Yeah.
before she's gone.
Exactly. It's a way of what it could, not directly, but like what Jackson was saying, what could be, you are seeing in a different form right now of what you are doing.
Yeah,
And I love that.
I think
It's really interesting.
the fact that Henry's or that Ned is the only person you see in the whole game just is like, that's like the cherry on top.
Yeah.
Like, he's looking right at you in your eye, the deer in the headlights with the flashlights. Like, dude,
You do
Go
technically
see
see
your-
the girls.
Sure.
A silhouette.
that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
I wanted
oh
to-
my god, everything is ruined. My
I
entire
it's
wanted,
okay.
I wanted to, yeah, I kind of wanted to add on to a point there because I think I never noticed that, Jackson. It's really cool
Yeah.
that you connected that. But I think what I was most excited about this is because I remember when I played the game and I remember when I saw Brian, it was just like as a crazy moment. And I remembered, I think that was one of the only things I remembered before replaying the game, and I remember I like knew it was gonna happen, and I was in the cave and I was like, I know it's gonna happen, and it still just hits like crazy because like
Yeah.
not to stump on your point, Jackson, but like that's the only person you see like actually like as like it's crazy, like you walk up and you see his body
Be next to
like,
it. Yeah.
it's super it's crazy. I mean, there's that moment you see his body, it's super like detailed, like it's pretty graphic. That's the only like human, like actual human you see in the story, and I'm just curious how that hit for everybody. What went through your head and what was, I don't know, how did you guys receive that?
It's here, I'll start. It's funny. It's really funny because and this is context for about that. Jackson talking about like, and surprisingly, the double layer of like not just your story and what you're dealing with, but Brian and Ned being the reflection of that, where I didn't think about until Jackson brought it up, which makes perfect sense. Because I was in a different position when it came to just playing the game and not thinking so much about that half, but it stuck to me on a deeper level, and seeing Brian's body down there was very much, I was like, this is the reaction I got being more high level than deep, in a sense of like, oh, this is, yeah, his dad was not there for him, and then obviously the whole kind of that being the twist, or one of the twists where pretty much the twist where like, oh, we thought he just ran away, we thought we'd never see him again, he died here, and I mean, it took me time to process it, like up until now, but it definitely is gut wrenching. But at the moment, I was like, this is just interesting. I was like, this is just a fascinating way about how this is going about. I wasn't so much sad or like depressed about it. I was like, this is just fascinating how these characters are dealing with these things and what they think are happening, and then here's the truth, and then now Jackson telling us about, it's a mirror of the story, and so I was like, damn, that's crazy. That's my reaction though.
It was pretty visceral. It was pretty visceral.
Yeah.
But I felt like it hit a little bit harder after you go out and you see his stuff and everything.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's a body, and then like that kind of is like, oh, it's a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like this kid was like playing D&D and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could be just like me.
Yeah.
True.
I think for me it was I don't know. I feel like it wasn't a moment that I felt like, obviously it's a very important moment, and I took it as very much like, I wasn't thinking of it as like the analogy for Henry at that point, but I thought of it as what the moment represented to me was like, this is reality. Like it's not it's like, you know, kind of the detailed body also kind of plays into that. It's not this fantasy that you're making up in your mind. It's not this grand conspiracy. It's just this very realistic thing. Son and his dad were climbing, and the kid slipped, and some rocks fell on his head, and that's, you know, damn.
Yeah.
That's really fucked up. Sad, but it's also much more real and not crazy conspiracy. Dad murdered his son. So yeah, that was my. For some reason, I don't feel like it was like a moment for me. I could definitely see why it would be for people, but for me, it wasn't like.
I agree.
A moment that super stuck with me. I actually had forgot it happened, and then when it did, I was like, oh yeah, that's what happened. But yeah.
Yeah, it was a weird moment because I think that was finally when the game brought me back to Earth, and I realized this was much more of a grounded story than I was kind of thinking it was going to be with the aliens and extra or whatever it was going to be. And I was just like, it hit me all of a sudden. I'm like, okay, this is about the kid who died, and this is about Henry, and this is about the real things that are going on in these people's lives, and not some crazy conspiracy that we've been running around the map trying to figure out. And so not only was I dealing with the moment of, wow, this is what it is, I was also realizing, okay, now everything I just experienced is hitting me harder because I'm realizing the real point of this game is all the problems that are going on. It's Delilah and her problems. It's Henry and, you know, being away from his wife, and it grounded me in that moment, and, you know, left me just distraught. And I think Brody nailed it on the head. Like it hit even harder than you walk out and you start basically messing with the kid stuff and looking around and like, oh, he was just a little kid, you know, and he was a smart kid and had a lot going for him. So very visceral.
Yeah, I thought I think it would have hit way harder if I never watched the full game when I was like 14. Because I think when I saw him, I'm like, it just reminded me of watching the game, and I was like, oh. And I remember when I was watching it, I was just like, oh man, oh dang, and I kind of still had that kind of vibe instead of like an actual this is tragic. And so I just didn't really feel much. I don't know. I think if I actually played the game for the first time, it would have been like, it would be like shocking. It'd be like, oh my god.
I really want us to find a game that none of you have played next time, because I feel like now, now 3 games in a row, I'm one of the only people who not only doesn't know the game, doesn't know the story, and has never played it. So I feel like I'm the only one getting the full.
No, I was there too. I was there too. Yeah,
me too.
Yeah, so like half of the crew, half people here, but still.
It's like still. I want to try really hard because I hate that you say that and you're like, oh, I just thought back when I watched it 8 years ago, and I want you to experience
I didn't even think back when I watched it. it wasn't seriously shocking because I had already known it was going to happen. Like I knew exactly. I'm walking in the cave. I'm like, okay, I'm going to see him, and he's going to be dead. And it's like, damn.
I get it.
And in the moment, I'm like, damn, rip to a brother. But
maybe for the next one, we have a nobody's played rule, or at least only one person.
Stay tuned. Nobody's played the next game, probably, unless we change that. Unless someone's like, actually.
I would love to circle back to how you guys played the game, because I feel like
I was about to ask you that.
I played it very different. I don't know. I felt very invested in my character, and maybe to an extreme where I kind of almost put myself in his shoes of holy shit, my wife's dying and I'm going here, what am I, and I kind of took it as a positive thing of what can I learn and grow from. And so playing the game, I played it as I still love my wife, and that's my focus, but I'm also open to talking to someone about it. I turned Delilah into my therapist, and that's how I played the game. Not as a way of escaping my relationship, but confronting it head on.
Sure.
That's really.
Now we see the type of people we all are.
Rudy's a good person.
But how do you interpret the the scene. There's like the in the middle where they're like
she's like,
very
"I love you."
clearly. Well, something
they're-
like that, or they're very
I want to be with you right now.
Yeah.
they kind of sound like they're gonna have radio sex.
Radio.
Yeah,
Telecom sex. Telephone sex. No spoilers.
The way that I played that was I felt like it kind of ruined my perspective of how I was playing the game.
Yeah.
And like I chose the options that were least like attaching to that.
Right. You were trying to avoid it, but then it kind of happened anyway.
I mean, it happened, but to a very, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
She was in
My interpretation is that, she was
Dude,
pushing it on me, and I was like, I don't really want
You don't
that.
want it.
That scene is crazy.
Yeah,
Because that's like,
Yeah,
that
like it's all
matches-
dark. There's just the one fire.
well, there's
I'm
that
watching it right
visually,
now. Yep.
Yeah.
but like emotionally, like what a way to put you in Henry's shoes.
Yeah.
Like you, the person, like Delilah. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I don't. I'm like. I low-key want to see Henry kind of get with Delilah.
I do too.
But I was
Yeah.
really conflicted. I was
After-
like,
Yeah,
I was
that's the
like,
problem.
I was like,
Yeah.
His wife.
should I
After
should
his
I
wife.
flirt back? Like, I don't know. That's
Yeah.
kind of, I don't know.
I wouldn't say that it fully broke me though, because part of me kind of saw it as like he's been stuck here for like what was it, like 56 days?
Right.
Like
You're sympathetic.
like
Yeah.
well, not sympathetic, but like I could understand how the character that I was playing him as in that moment like could be kind of
Yeah.
like drawn to like the siren's call in like that
Yeah.
kind of atmosphere with
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Just,
a joke. He
you
was
know,
down bad.
like caught in the moment, like I'm not I'm not how I
Right.
should be right now. I'm not,
No, I
a
agree.
moment of weakness, I guess.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I never actually saw it being anything serious.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For me, I was like, hey, I played the opposite. I really leaned into it. I didn't remember if the game had alternate endings or not. So because I originally, when I was younger, I played how you played, Brody. Just very faithful towards Delilah. But I didn't remember. Yeah, I was like, maybe things will be different if I play into it. So I was just curious. I already know how the story went. I was like, I'm curious. I'm just gonna lean into this. And it didn't do anything differently.
Yeah.
So I'm just a bad guy.
It's all bad guys. then.
Well, no. See, here's where I was gonna go. I mean, obviously the dialogue tree is just based on you as a player's thought process when it comes to, obviously nothing's gonna change. But for me, it was sure, I think in a therapy sense, but it was very much like I wanted to be mentally healthy about the words I was saying. So like, and the choices that came up were like, if Delilah, I think, upset him at a point, or Henry at a point, I was like, oh, I clicked the option that was like, oh, it's okay, I'm just dealing with shit like that. Like, don't, it's not your fault. This is where I'm at. Like, that was the kind of
Not you, it's
mindset.
me.
Right. Well, that's the kind of mindset that I went with it, where I didn't want to blame her at all for anything. I clicked any of the options that it wasn't her fault. I then led into that the fire moment where he was, yearning for someone, and Delilah being the only, what Sean said or whoever said, the siren's call was that. I was like, I for that moment I was like, I'm gonna lean into that. He should, it's been a while since he's been gone, but also at the same time I was conflicted too on the like, okay, this isn't right. He has a wife. I like when the first intro cutscene dialogue tree was there about him and his wife and everything. I felt for him and her at that moment. So the whole time I was aware of like how he should be acting, and so that's why I went with the mental, or what I believed was the right way to go about it. So not succumbing to the not greed, but like that what the opposite of what he mentally should be doing, the healthy way he should be going about it. But that narratively, that's how I went about it. I mean, gameplay wise, there was a few things. This is a side note, but gameplay wise, exploring around, there was one or two other achievements. I think it was one like getting stung by a bee, and then there was something else. I forget exactly what it was, but like I got the bee sting, but there was one other one that I didn't do. I only explored so much. Like I only was like, I'm gonna go to the story moments and play the how it progresses. I think there was a little bit more you could look for, but I just didn't care that much. I was like, I'm story mode this time. I'm not exploring mode. But so yeah.
One note I kind of wanted to add on to that track is I think something that I noticed about the game that I really enjoyed this time around is how intuitive everything was. Like the way that the pathways like weaved through the woods, it felt like it felt natural, and also kind of it didn't feel like boxed in, like it didn't feel super linear. Like to me it felt, I think the designers just did such a fantastic job of making it feel like an open area, even though you were, relegated to specific paths. It felt really intuitive, and it wasn't distracting. It felt natural to me personally.
I agree.
Agreed.
Kind of to add on to the achievement thing, did anyone else grab the camera and take pictures?
That was the other one.
I did, and then I forgot like the entire game, and then I took a bunch at the end of freaking Ned's place, and then in the credits rolling, it was just all Ned's place, and
You know
it was so not on fucking the vibe at all.
What's funny? I was a little bit of the same, but I didn't do. I was more schizo about it. I guess I kind of forgot that like about the conspiracy, or that the conspiracy was fake or something. And I was taking lots of pictures of documents. like I got to this.
I need to save this.
Site. I got to the site. I'm like, I should take lots of pictures of this. Like they got, they gotta know the evidence that I didn't set up. I didn't light the forest on fire.
It's like,
dude,
it's like
Cade's documentation. Yeah.
So for me, it was, dude. For me, I took like 5 pictures of Brian.
Oh my god. Why are you? What is wrong with you?
Because I was thinking in my mind, I was like, there's got to be like crime scene evidence, like crime scene evidence.
I mean, that makes sense.
But yeah, at the credits, it's just a dead body.
I see. That's crazy. No, see, I didn't. I didn't.
The music too. Oh no.
I didn't. Where was the film roll? Because I didn't get that.
It's at the end.
It was in one of those Dropboxes.
Oh, okay. See, I don't think. Yeah, like I said, I didn't open all those. So I think there was.
It wasn't in a Dropbox. It was
on the string or the rope.
Oh, it was on the backpack with the string.
I'm surprised that you must have picked it up, because you need the rope from that backpack.
Oh, but I never took pictures, I guess. I think I just stopped taking. I took one. Oh, I did. I took one photo and then just completely forgot about that part of the game.
Yeah, I took the one same and forgot. I didn't think that it would be. I love that they did that, and that was like a part of the credits. But I'm mad I didn't know about it. It would have been cool to have like pictures of the adventure, and
right.
So that was really cool.
I took photos whenever my character went through like a very emotional moment and wanted to remember it.
See, he plays the game as you're supposed to play.
Yeah, Birdie's he's the Giga Chad here. He played it correctly.
No.
I had the perfect fucking atmosphere for this goddamn game when I played it. I just got back from the mall. We picked up some candies.
So we did go to the mall.
Like it was pouring down rain.
The mall like so beautiful.
I set it up on my TV.
Yeah.
My girlfriend was sitting next to me knitting, and I was just vibing out.
Oh, dude, hell yeah!
Playing the game.
That's the kind of video game book club experience we need. We need.
We all failed except Brody.
I had the lights synced to the TV, so like when the sunsets were there, just the whole room was baked in orange. It was
in.
That's nice.
Any other thoughts? Tying into Nolan's question about how y'all played the game.
I definitely didn't do that much exploring, although there's some things in there where you can like kind of break the sequence, and there was one where like right off the bat you can go directly to the after you get the rope, so on one of the second or third days,
Mhm.
you can walk directly to the the fence, and you can walk up to the gate, and you can pick up the rock immediately and try to bash open the gate. And they catch for that. And later in the game, he's like, they're like, "Oh, we got to go back," and he's like, "Oh, you can be like, oh, I already went there and tried to bash it open with a rock. It's not going to open."
Oh, that's cool.
Um,
Interesting.
but and I don't know what happens, but you can get the axe, and then
Oh.
the game stops you and is immediately like, okay, Delilah, you overhear the one guy on the radio, and then Delilah's like, "Get to your outpost now," and then and then the day ends.
Oh,
The next day starts, and Delilah's acting all obtuse, and she's
Right.
leading you to go over and get
Yeah.
the radio, but you already have the axe. And I was like, I'm just going to go directly to the site. And I went to the site, and you can break in way
Oh.
before you have the second radio.
wow,
And you
okay.
can do all of that right like before you even have talked to
Oh, wow.
Delilah that
Okay.
day. And I started to walk, and I was like, this feels wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just going to restart the day.
Oh, interesting. I'd be curious
And
if there was any, if there was any, if there was any, programming for like what would happen if you did
Yeah.
it, and then what difference would there be?
Yeah, I'd be curious if
yeah.
they catch for that.
Yeah.
I just remembered what the hell was the whole thing when she was talking to that person on the phone
Yeah.
way before at the start of the game when it sounds like it's about you. And we never figured out what the hell that
I'm trying
was.
to remember that moment.
That's what I mean. That was one of the things in the story for me that I was like that. If there was any other hint leading us one way or the other, but still not decisive, it would be
big
interesting.
conspiracy, from what I saw online after seeing that moment, is that Delilah was in cahoots with Ned and was aware the whole time, which is why like I had the big question of like, I wrote it down here, like, do we find Delilah trustworthy after knowing that moment and then going through this whole love story with her? Like, why were we never going back to that? Why did we never question? Why didn't we think about it? And then knowing Ned was hiding there the whole time, and then also with what Kate just said, like, I didn't know that was an option. Where one of the dialogues that you hear is "Get back to your outpost," like blah 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 blah. Like, to me, it clearly points that Delilah was somewhat in cahoots with Ned, and is she this trustworthy person at the end of the day?
I think that particular moment, if I'm not mistaken, was like because they thought, maybe Delilah, the untrustiness is in play, but because it's suspicious. But you and her overheard Ned on the radio the day before or that day, and so then they're like, you should go back, and so then she was like, just shut up, go home.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk anymore, and then she tells you to go get the new thing, but
Yeah.
it still is suspicious. But I think in that moment, to me, I was believing, okay, I think she's on my side at this point because of how she's acting. Sure, she still could be putting on a ruse, but I mean, I was more trustworthy at that point when she was scared too, or seemed to be. But
I'm skeptical of the Delilah talking with, because I feel like there's certain things in Ned's cave where it alludes to like him not talking to either of them, but having an opinion about them.
He had an
But there's
opinion.
also, but I don't know what that intro.
I don't remember
combo
either.
is over the phone.
Yeah.
But she could be talking to like another, like she says she talks to other outposts and stuff. But
Yeah. I'd have to replay that.
and
see
so
if
so much of this game is like, taking things that sounds like they could be, there's might be something more to them, but there's actually not. It's something you can explain very easily.
Yeah.
And it's normal. But I don't know. There
That-
could be.
yeah.
She could be talking to Ned.
Sorry.
Go
Wasn't
ahead.
it kind of alluded that she had a boyfriend?
Yeah. Well, they have a whole
She said,
combo about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
I remember. And
What
that
if
didn't
it's
work
just like-
out or something.
what if? But I heard that there's like still some stuff about how maybe they were still together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ned was like in one of his notes says she's lying about her past or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's right. Trying to remember.
Very cool.
But
Yeah. No, go ahead.
I kind of just thought it was something about that. I didn't think that she was talking about us.
Yeah.
Do we want to jump to trivia just because I know we're getting close to
Yeah,
an
that'd
hour?
be good. I think that'd be good. Yeah,
Okay, sweet.
guys.
I've prepared some trivia.
Okay, Sean's got.
I got
trivia.
about 10 minutes, so
Perfect.
Perfect.
Okay, sweet.
What's the
Try to
lowdown?
come up with some interesting trivia questions. Some will probably be pretty easy. I think there's a couple that I definitely didn't know about, and I'm hopeful that you guys didn't find, especially because you all just admitted that you didn't do a ton of exploring.
Right.
So,
I mean, I did a
so
bit.
first one, did a bit. Yeah.
We'll see.
What U.S. state does Firewatch take place in?
Wyoming.
Wyoming. Yeah.
Correct.
It's in the
Yep.
blurb on Steam.
Yep.
No,
What
that's
is the
funny.
name of Henry's watchtower?
Oh,
Oh fuck.
Something Peak, Twin Peak, or something.
Two
Fork or
River.
North.
It's two something.
it's T something. I feel like.
Kate's on the right
Tower.
track.
Two Forks.
Two forks.
Yeah. Okay.
Two forks. Yep.
one spoon.
Oh,
A slight switch up, but what is the code to the supply cache when Delilah was giving Henry a new walkie-talkie?
6, 7,
5,
8.
6.
Oh yeah.
It's 5, 6, 7 or something.
Yeah,
5, 6,
5,
7.
7, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They changed it up on us. They're
I
not
know.
all just.
I was
1,
like,
2,
wait a
3,
minute.
4.
And
Um,
I have that. Sorry, quick aside. I have that. Like, why is the lot? This is not going to be a combo. Just
Right.
why is all the lot? Like, why would you have the mechanic of the lock if it's
2.
all going to be 1, 2, 3, 4? And my only theory is so that they can switch it up at that one
Yeah,
point.
switch it up at that
Yeah,
one
That's,
point.
that's the only reason that mechanic exists.
Oh, fun
That's my
twist!
guess.
feel like
It's a
it's
different
also-
code.
I think they're like almost making it easy so that people are dumb and they'll forget the locks, and
Yeah.
then. But that
Yeah.
also could have been a cool exploration. You have to
Yeah.
find the code to each one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It definitely could have just been for that moment specifically.
Interesting. Yeah.
Here's a good one. What animal can you adopt as a pet?
Oh, see,
I
I
know
didn't.
it.
Oh, it's
I think
a
it's
turtle.
a turtle,
It's a
but
turtle.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, me
I
neither.
didn't.
I didn't do it
Turtle,
either, but yeah.
I didn't do it.
My personal favorite name for it is Turt Reynolds.
That's what I
Kurt
did.
Reynolds. How do you do it?
I
You have to
forget.
go.
It's southwest, I think, like in the southwest
You-
corner.
Okay.
So if you go back the way Henry comes into the park,
Yeah.
the trail is destroyed, and he's like, "Oh, I can't leave. Damn."
Oh.
But then there's like a little side path you can go off of, and then Turt Reynolds is sitting there.
Kurt Reynolds.
Aw. Is he like
Turt
small?
Reynolds.
Yeah.
Tiny little guy?
That's
This
fun.
one, a little trickier, I think. What animal jumps out at you from a furnace in the burnt down shack? And bonus, if you can explain how do you get that like clip?
I know.
There's a like
Shack.
process for it.
Oh,
I say I didn't do that.
I didn't do that either.
Yeah.
Dude, it's super niche. I did
Yeah,
not know
I
about
didn't- I
this
didn't.
at all. And
here, I
saw
only
it,
know
but
this. I only know this because I looked through the achievements. It's a raccoon, right?
It is a raccoon, but the
I didn't
bonus,
do it,
how
though.
do you trigger it?
You.
I don't know how to figure it.
If you're so it's along the path up to the power lines, and
There was a
basically
house there, right?
Yeah, I was
yeah,
gonna mention
if you
that.
go
too.
into that, you go into that shack, and then you go
Ah.
downstairs, and then it's in there.
Okay.
Yeah. The other thing is though that you have the part of it too is there's another. It's a raccoon that you see earlier in the game if you go through. That's what I was trying to allude to. Is that like the whole sequence? There's a point in the game. I think it's day 2-ish where when you're exploring or walking around, you find the raccoon sitting on top of a rock, and then
Yeah.
Delilah like screams into the mic, like the microphone, and the raccoon runs away.
Oh.
And then when you go to the shack, the first time it's not there, and then if you go again and check that furnace again, it's there again,
Oh.
or it's there for the first, and it jumps out and scares you. But
I never went in the shack. I saw it and I was like,
I totally
ooh.
forgot to do that.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, because it was
Yeah.
a key. I forget how you. No. I was too scared to even go to it because at that point in the time, I was like, because I saw that early on, I was like, this is a horror game. I'm not going in there.
yeah, no, it's
Kill me.
Yeah.
what's funny is I went into the shack and I opened the furnace, but I
Yeah.
never triggered that animation because
Oh.
I'm pretty sure you have to go through and see the raccoon either earlier in the game, or you need to at least go back to that
I get it.
location and open it again.
Oh, okay. Sure.
I think I don't know exactly the full trigger, but I did go in the shack. I did open that, and I did not get jump scared. But I would have loved it if I did.
Gotcha.
Last one could be really easy, could be hard, depending on how close you were looking around. What is the name of the muddy pond in the southeast part of the map, and who stole the sign for it?
The muddy pond.
I know the
Oh,
second
it's the
part.
one that. Yeah.
Birdie?
I know the second part. Let me see if I can get the. It's
Was that where the camp was?
It's like a pig. It's a pig, right? It's some kind of pig thing.
I don't know. Say an answer.
Is that where the camp?
Pen?
like,
Maybe
was?
something pen?
I won't. Even though I know the second part. Even though I know the second part of the question, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Brody, you were on
Nope,
it.
I lost it. I lost it.
Something pen? Something pig? I know.
I don't know.
I don't know the
I
name
didn't
either.
You know what we're talking about.
I'm trying to make a mental map.
Okay, I'll reveal. So in the southeast part of the map,
Yeah.
I believe, you come across red jet skis and
Yeah,
this
yeah.
like muddy pond,
Right.
and you're talking with Delilah, and you're like, "Oh, what's the name of this?" And Delilah says the pond's called Pork Pond. They giggle and say that's a great name. And Delilah says that there's been a problem with people stealing the sign. And at the end of the game, when you walk into Delilah's shack or tower, you can see the Pork Pond sign hung up on there. So Delilah took the Pork Pond
She
sign
stole
a
it.
while ago, years ago. But, yeah.
I got
Been a
it.
problem. It's me.
Nice.
Yep.
Good trivia. Good trivia. Good
That's
job.
the trivia.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching the
Great
podcast.
ass pod.
Guys, thank you so much for watching the pod. If you enjoyed, subscribe to the fernsproutstudios YouTube channel. Check out all the other episodes we've done so far. We'll be picking another game here soon, and you'll see another episode. Hopefully in the next month and a half. Watch. It'll be 3 months, and then there will be no video. No, hope you guys enjoyed.
No dice.
Welcome, Brody, to the podcast team.
Thank you.
And
Let's go,
we're
Brody.
hoping to get, alternate people in and out here and there. Whoever is available, you will see next time. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Team, thanks so much for being here. Subscribe if you haven't already. We will see you next time. Fern out. Fern Sprout out.